of staff in my office, members of Parliament from the Senate and the National Assembly, senior officers of the National Government Administration, senior police officers, the prosecutors, the drafters from Parliament and from the Office of the Honorable Attorney General, the Honorable Speakers of our county assemblies in our 5 counties, the leaders of majority present, and members of the county assembly. Good evening. God is good, and all the time. It gives me pleasure this evening to have this engagement with you as our leaders for the sake of our country and in protecting the next generation, our young people. The background to this meeting is that our country is facing unprecedented times in terms of the young population and the most productive group of our society. For whatever reason, the Central Kenya region has had the biggest beating of the drug abuse and proliferation of illicit brews in the country. From the statistics given by NACADA, the Central Kenya region, or rather the former Central Province, is leading in terms of alcoholism and drug abuse. The President did instruct me about 3 weeks ago to embark on a program to reach out to the leadership in this region to come up with mechanisms and measures to see what interventions can be made by government and all other stakeholders with a view of saving the next generation. This decision was not because other parts of the country are not important, far from it. It is because the Central Kenya region has the highest prevalence rate. And we did agree with the President that it may be difficult to start the exercise all over the country. And we agreed that we try Central Kenya as a model. And when we succeed, as we must, we shall replicate the effort and the interventions to the rest of the country. As we speak, I was in touch with the Regional Commissioner of Rift Valley. We are going to have an engagement with the 6 counties that are worst hit, Nakuru being one of them. From there, we'll have some engagement down the coast before we go to Eastern Province, that is the Mount Kenya East, Embu, Meru, and Tharaka Nithi. We did hold our first conference in Nyeri. All members of the National Assembly were present. All members of the Senate were present. Our 5 governors were present. The Regional Security Committee was present. The county security committees were present. The sub-county security committees were present. All the station commanders were present. All the ACCs were present. We had a gathering of about 1,000 people. And from there, we agreed on what we need to do. And in furtherance to what we agreed, I did convene another meeting of the security committees in Nairobi, and a lot of issues came up. And we had a very honest and candid discussion with our security commanders, and a lot of gaps were identified in matters legislation that place is not very helpful in addressing the problem. From there, I was able to call the DPP, and we had another engagement with the security committees and our prosecutors in the region, and again, gaps were identified. It became very clear we need to fix the law and create the necessary legislative framework to back our investigative agencies and our prosecution teams. I therefore did appealed to the members of the County Assembly to grant me an audience. And we met 247 members of the 5 county assemblies and all the 5 speakers, and the leader of majority in the National Assembly, the Honorable Kibani Ichung'wah, for a long day conversation. And this meeting was birthed there. And after a lot of discussion with the members of the County Assembly, we did agree that, one, there were serious gaps. In Nyandarua County, for example, there is no legal framework in place to regulate the issue of alcohol in that county. Again, the laws that were made in the other 4 counties were hastily done and have not been helpful in the fight against illicit brews. We therefore did agree with the 5 county assemblies, with all members present unanimously, that I convene this forum so that we can sit down and come up with uniform laws across the 5 counties. In fact, the County Assembly of Nyandarua did come to see me, telling me that since they didn't have a law in place, they had already crafted something and they wanted to go ahead. And I did implore upon them to exercise some little patience to allow us have this discussion so that we can also improve that law and also make amendments in the other laws in the 4 other counties so that we have uniform laws that will help us. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have a date with history, you have a date with destiny. For those of us who come from the Central Kenya region, you all know the cry of our mothers, you know the cry of our women, you know the desperation of our young people. You know how desperate the situation is. And the entire population is urging us to provide leadership, step forward, and save the next generation. Leadership is about interventions. Leadership is about showing the way. You cannot be a leader who keeps on lamenting and you cannot offer a solution. We cannot accept a situation where our mothers are crying, the women are crying, and we as leaders have no solution. You have no business being in leadership if you cannot be bold enough to take a step and offer a solution. So for the men and women in this room today, history will judge you very favorably if from this sitting for the next 3 days, you come up with laws that are stringent, that are effective to bring down the consumption of illicit brews and drugs in our 5 counties. And I can tell you, because we must succeed, when the history of the Central Kenya region is written and how the region was almost being wiped out by illicit brews and drugs, and there were some men and women who came together to create interventions to save that group of people, you will have written your own chapter in the history of the region. These opportunities do not happen every day. You have a date with the destiny. So we have asked you to come here, and we have brought the members of the County Assembly. We have asked the senators to be here because they oversight what the counties do. We have requested our lawyers from the region in the National Assembly because they understand the law and they are also lawmakers. And with us, we have Honorable Kagushia from Ukuroini, Honorable Jerry Maina from Kirinyaga, and Edward Muriu from Katanga. I don't know what happened to Honorable Gishimu Githinji of Gishogo. He's another one of our lawyers in the region. I requested them to come and help us. We did also ask Nakada to come. The regional head is here, the CEO is here, so that they can also share with us experiences and the gaps that have been identified. Again, I did request the Honorable Attorney General, Honorable Justin Muturi, to give us backup with drafters from the Office of the Attorney General who have the necessary and requisite experience so that they can also come up with existing laws so that we look at them and we decide how way to go. We did also ask the clerk of the National Assembly to assist us with the drafters. And therefore, we have a good house. The police are here. The National Police Service is here. The Office of the Deputy, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution is represented. The Office of the DCI is represented. So we have a full house. All the agencies in the criminal justice system and the leadership, elected leadership of the region is here. And I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, you have work to do. I would have wanted to open this session tomorrow morning. We had wanted to come first day, we settle down, we have dinner, we bond, we talk, we get to know each other, and then we start the real work tomorrow. I had hoped to talk to you first thing in the morning, but that changed because we have a state guest from Germany. The Chancellor of Republic of Germany is our guest at State House, and I need to be there with the President. Therefore, I requested that you come. I talk to you today, then we break, we have dinner, we bond, we sleep, then tomorrow morning, under the chairmanship of George Makigoe, my Chief of Staff, a long-standing administrator in this republic, you can be able to make progress. You are here the whole of tomorrow and Saturday. You can check out on Sunday morning. And I want to tell you, in your leadership journey, these 2 days are very instrumental and monumental. Don't think you are wasting time here. What you are just about to embark is a very important exercise for the people of Central Kenya region and the Kenyan nation. And I want to urge you to utilize the time well. Stay here, discuss, suggest, make proposals, debate, and finally get consensus. Why we have asked you to come here is that the laws that exist are not effective. The fines are a joke. That is why these people are arrested, taken to court. They are fined 200 shillings, 500 shillings. That is just a fraction of the profit they make. And even before the police go back to the station, the fellows are already home. So that is something you want to address. You must come up with very stiff penalties that are deterrent, especially to the brewers and the peddlers. The people who are making these illicit brews and those who are doing wholesale and those who are transporting. You must come up with very punitive penalties, both in terms of fines and imprisonment terms. Number two, you may want to consider what to do with vehicles that are impounded, transporting drugs and illicit alcohol within your county. You may want to consider that those vehicles are forfeited to the county government so that it's deterrent. We have had a very big weakness on licensing. Since the county governments came into place, this exercise was being done by NACADA and the county commissioners and the district commissioners then. It was a very serious exercise. I served in that government myself. That administration, the liquor licensing court was not a joke. It was a very serious affair chaired by the district commissioner. And they were very responsible people. They will never license kiosks to be bars. They will never license kiosks to be bar and restaurants. And I can tell you life was working because Tusker then was called Baada ya Kazi. It has now changed Badala ya Kazi. And I can tell you because we were there. We were not born yesterday. We've been around for a while. Bars were opening at 5. And nobody would open before 5. There would be 1 or 2 bar and restaurant in the big town. In Madera, where I come from, there were about 3 bar and restaurants in Karatina town. There was Elephant Castle. There was that Kogoro place, what was it called? 3-in-1 ya Mugambi, and about 3. The rest, they open at 5. People go to work. They come and drink. By 11, they go home. Those who have drunk, by morning, they are sober because they have slept for 5 hours, 7 hours. Now, hizi mabaa magavana wamefungua, kwa kijiji, in a small town, a small trading center, like maybe Mushagara hapale Gishugu, town ya duka 10, 7 ni bar, 1 ni hoteli, ingine 1 ni butchery, ingine ni duka. 7 are bars. They are open throughout their bar and restaurant. The governor amechukua pesa, revenue ya kumsaidia county. Anaenda kujenga barabara, anaenda kujenga hospitali na mochari. Anajegea nani? There is nobody to utilize those facilities. Why do you kill people to collect revenue to take care of people who are dead? You people want to discuss. Can you consider re-establishing the liquor licensing court and don't leave it to the county government alone? Bring in the county commissioner. Bring in the county police commander. Bring in the people from the DCI. Bring in NACADA. Bring in church people. By law. By law. Don't leave it to the governor. By law. Bring in men and women of integrity in the liquor licensing court. Then don't allow the nonsense that is going on, that licenses are issued throughout the year. It has never happened. Licenses were issued once a year. Once. And it was a serious affair. People are given 2 or 3 weeks to apply. Vetting takes another 2 weeks. The licenses are issued, and there was a mechanism for appeal. Chapter closed. Those licenses, they work for the whole year. We must go back to that, because that is a problem we are having. In some counties, just getting the receipt to apply to be considered is a license. That is what is happening in Kiambu. And since the county wants revenue, as long as you can afford what is being required, you just pay, you start. Receipts cannot be a license. A receipt is an application for consideration. So you people must come out with a law that clearly spells out the mechanism of issuing a license. And that liquor licensing court, it must be vetted by the county assemblies. Watch our end vetting. So that we have men and women of integrity. Again, you must create a mechanism of impeaching them. And you must lower the threshold. Let it not be 2/3. Equal 50+1, simple majority. So that if people become rogue, the assembly can remove them. And I don't think there is any assembly in Kenya will allow a rogue liquor licensing code, because MCAs are elected people. And they know what our women are saying. They know what our people are saying. I believe the county assembly, given the power to vet and approve members of the liquor licensing code, they will give us a good team. That I have no doubt. Because these are elected leaders. But let us bring in all the security agencies in that court. Let us bring in public health. Let us bring NACADA. Let us bring administration. Let us bring police and other people of integrity, and you point out those people. Let's have people, the religious leaders, Nini. You define a good court. It can be big, but make it very powerful. Make it very powerful. Again, you want to consider looking at distances and population. How many bars do you allow within 5 square kilometers? You want to consider. This thing of having every building is a bar, it's not, surely. It cannot work. That's something you need to look at. You need to look at the wines and spirits. Those are the most notorious. You want to ask yourself, why do you want wines and spirits that are selling intoxicating products? Do you want to allow them to operate throughout? Why don't you regulate them? Why don't they open for a few hours after work? Why do you want them to sell from morning? Because these are the people selling people sachets. They are the ones who are selling this to our school children. And you must also come up with a very heavy penalty for anybody caught selling alcohol and those things to school-going children and minors. Very heavy penalty. So that ukiamua kuuzia mtoto wa shule, you know what it means. It must be very heavy. You also may want to consider, why do you want to allow people to come from other counties with the vehicles to sell poison to your people? Why don't you consider that anybody who wants to sell those things must have a depot within the county so that they can be regulated? And also come up with very heavy regulations on how a depot can operate. And for heaven's sake, don't allow depots everywhere. Just have, if it's a depot, sub-county headquarters, and one through the law, so that you are able to oversight that place. As it is, everybody now has a depot. Again, brewing at home, you must come up with very heavy penalties for anybody who is trying to set up a small distillery in your household, because that one you cannot oversight. You must outlaw that by having a very heavy penalty. But there are so many ideas that you have. That is just what is going through my mind, that if we can be tough and make it next to impossible for people to sell illicit alcohol through the law, you will help our people. So that those who will sell are those who are selling the right thing. Again, you want to consider all these things that are there, Kobero, Nini. You didn't want to create a law to outlaw them, because you know why they are going there. There is no law to regulate them. You know them. There is nothing wrong with you being specific. All those substances, you outlaw them and you put very heavy penalties. Very heavy. So that somebody akisikia ni kuuza hiyo kitu, yeah, akisikia ni 1,100 fine, he thinks twice. So you people have a job to do, and I'm sure you know what you need to do. Ours is to support you. Again, you want to consider about business of ethanol in your counties. Yeah. Legislate. Cushion your people from bad things. Kanyoko. Hakuna pahali mtapelekwa. Mseme hii kwetu, hapana. Hii kwetu, hapana. But again, we said, let's have a uniform law in the 5 counties, so that mtu asitoroke Kiambu akuja kuuza kitu yake Murang'a. And tukimaliza hii, we are coming to Laikipia and Nakuru, also Nairobi and Kajiado. Because if we don't also do in the neighboring counties, we will have a challenge. But we wanted to use this as a model. So those are just a few of my thoughts. I know you people have many thoughts. I brought these members of parliament to assist you, because they are also from there, they know. These drafters will help you. The people of Nakada, you know this journey. You know what can be done. These are the lawmakers, and they have mandate from the assemblies who are told to come here and make the laws. DPP, you know where we have weaknesses. We had a long conversation. Talk now. Police, you know where we have a problem. Let everybody talk openly and candidly. But let us, all of us, consider this as a privilege, that you are privileged to be in a position to change destiny in this region by doing the right thing, by creating laws to help mankind. I know there is a discussion about, no, these boys, if they don't drink, they need something else to do. That is true. But that does not mean because they have nothing to do, they cure themselves. We are making reforms in the coffee sector, in tea, in milk, to prepare for these boys. As it is today, even if we reform coffee, there will be nobody in the farms. I have many roads I was doing as a member of parliament. We could not get young men to work on the roads. It's women who are spreading maram. The men are not available. So the issue that they are drinking, they have nothing to do, is also not true. It's not true. I have seen many projects lacking workers. The people available for work in the central Kenya region are women and young girls and old men. The young boys are not available. And the reason, there is cheap available alcohol. Let us make it impossible to have cheap available alcohol. Let these boys go and work if they want to take Tusker, which is 200 shillings. Aende afanye kazi, alipwe 400, akunywe 2, iishe bila chakula. Nobody will agree. But now hii pombe ya 30 shillings and 40 shillings is a problem. Much as we are saying that we need to create alternative things for these boys, as a government, as a society, we have allowed poison in the shops at an affordable rate. I'm so happy that since we started this exercise in Central Kenya region, Sokoto of Bangi that was going at 100 shillings now is going at 400. We are making progress. That is good progress. It's becoming unaffordable. And that is the right thing. Because the police are so heavy on Bangi, so wale wenye kuuza, the risk is so high, wanaongeza pesa. When they sell at 400, people who are affording at 100 stop smoking. Because it's not available. So let us not make cheap drinks on the shelves. And these wines and spirit, you guys must come up with a solution. You must deal with them. Why should we have a wine and spirit shop in Yakanja Shopping Center? For heaven's sake. Who takes wine in there, in that thing? Wine and spirit was a very coveted drink. It was for the bourgeois and the rich and the wealthy. I remember myself when I was young in high school and going to university in Kratina near the market there was only 2 shops for wine and spirit. We used to go there and buy sherry. And it was for the privileged people. It was not a drink for everybody. Wines and spirit. It wasn't a drink for everybody. It was for the very able. Na watu ya class. Hii watu wengine ni watu ya Tusker na nini, lakini wines and spirit, sasa wine and spirit is now the drink for everybody. It's only that thing has been abused. It has been abused. There's some things we are going to do nationally. But even before we go national, please make it impossible. Make it impossible. Let's have wine and spirit, ambayo inajulikana na muweke size yake so that it's a big shop, so that not just anybody can open. Ikuwe moja kwa sub county. Wewe ukisikia unataka kukunywa wine and spirit, inatakana kwanza mtu yuko na gari kwenda kununua. Mtu ya mguu anakunywa wine and spirit namna gani? How? Yeah. And it's expensive. The real wine and spirit is expensive. Hii inauzwa, that is not wine and spirit. That is poison under our title, wine and spirit. So you people, please apply your mind. Be imaginative. Think and think hard. What are these interventions that we can do? So the people of Nakada will tell you what they think. DPP will tell you what they think. DCI, National Police Service, County Commissioner Nyandarua and your people, Bwana Guevara and your people, you tell us. MPs, you know. Speakers, mnajua. MCA, nyinyi ndio mko pale kwa ground. You know more than any one of us. Mimi, at least the little I know is that when I was there in the village, wine and spirit was for the rich. Sasa nyinyi Kanyongo mmebadilisha, hii ni ya kila mtu. Na ni sawa tu, hakuna shida. But then we are losing an entire population. So you people have a job to do. Na mufanye. You'll be given the schedule. Let's be here on time. Let's work. Let's break for lunch. Let's work. Use these 3 days well. Use these 3 days well. The hotel is paid for. Food is paid for. We organize your per diem. So also earn your money. Sidia mudhani wa kuruka? Yeah. Tufanya kazi. Na hii ni kazi nzuri, by the way. You know, this is not just another job. For those of you who are chosen in the assembly, it's a privilege. It's a really privilege that it is you, 4 people from the county, who are chosen to undertake such an important exercise for our people. Be proud of this moment and make maximum use of it. And the drafters are here from the AG, wako hapa, wako na ile sheria ya national. They'll share with you. Let it be a good forum. And I am sure by the time you leave here on Sunday morning, you have a legislative proposal. Na tulikubaliana na assemblies itakibia kama risasi. Si tulikubaliana? Yeah, you had the public participation. How many days? Yeah, 7. Yeah. And I don't mind. Is a public I can do 111. I can hope to kuja just to drum up support. I can come na to publicize nitakuja. Tusikie wananchi waseme, tuambie tumepitisha hii na utaona mkitengeneza sheria mzuri, you people will be heroes. For you MCAs, hii ndio jenu ya kurudi. I'm telling you. Hii pombe pahali imefika. Pahali imefika. Mimi kwanza sasa hii vita mimi napigana naye. Kura ya mama yote niko nayo 100%. True or false? Yeah. Vijana wananipiga kidogo kidogo, but watatulia, wakiwacha pombe, waanze kufanya kazi, wataelewa. Na unajua uchaguzi huko mbali. Watakuwa wamesahau, so hakuna shida. So please, for UMCAs, let me tell you, this assembly of yours, if you make good laws and we stop this nonsense, society will reward you. Amutaniambia, me have a lot of experience in this politics. I know the way they go. And they are waiting. They are waiting to understand these county assemblies. What are they doing when our children are dying? Wanalala kwa mtaro. Vijana wanalala chini kwa kitanda, wamama wanalala juu peke yao. What are they doing? And I'm telling you, you can turn your politics into something that is unstoppable by just doing the right thing. So, sisi, mimi natakia nyinyi mema. I was just trying to provoke your thinking and urge you to do the right thing and put your all, put your mind and your energy here. And by the time you leave on Sunday morning, please, let us have a legislative proposal and we agree it's across board. Let us borrow what is good in Nyandarua, what is good in Kiambu, tukoroge, ile haingiani, lakini let us have one law. Then, once we do that, I'll lobby the other regions, will make these national laws so that nobody has anywhere to hide. So, mimi nimetakia nyinyi mema. Wewe Mwangi unasema ati tutaenda kukula chakula peke yetu wengine wabaki?
Your Excellency, just the government agencies to chart the way forward on the program.
But they also join us.
Yes, we're joining you, Excellency.
Usikuwe na ubaguzi bana.
No, tunakuja.
Hii ni watu wetu. So usitupangie tukule na waheshimiwa alafu watu ya serikali atonabaki hapa.
It's 15 minutes, Your Excellency.
Okay. So mimi nimefurahi and I really want to thank you for creating time. You are all very busy people. You have left your stations, you have left your wards, you have left your assemblies, you have left your families to come here for national duty. This is a sacrifice, but it's worth it, I want to tell you. Mimi nasema hata nisipofanya kazi ingine Kenya, kama tunaweza sota utii maneno ya watoto wetu, hata niende nyumbani, mimi retire vizuri. I will be a happy man and I will look back and say I was there. I had been given a privilege by the people of Kenya to lead, and I was involved with other people to do some intervention to save our young people and our families. Hata nisipofanya kazi ingine, hiyo itatosha mimi. And I want you to look at this thing as a big challenge for us as leaders. The society has given up. Wameinua mkono. They have resigned to fate. Wacha watoto wetu tu wakufe tu tukiona. But we are leaders. Leaders provide solutions. And you must be bold. You must be bold. And I'm very happy. I want to thank our officers. I'm very happy with what is going in Kiambu, what is happening in Murang'a, what is happening. I'm following. And I want to encourage you, commanders. You are on the right path. You are on the right path. Na niambia nyinyi msiogope. You know, muendelee. Na msitishwe na mtu, nilisema simu ni 4 peke yake. Ya president, yangu, ya Kidiki na ya Kome. All other phones ignore. Na sisi tutakuwa tukipiga kusema muendelee. We can never call to say muache. So nilisikia kuna mtu mwingine hapo Harambee House alikuwa anatisha watu Murang'a. Nimepigia huyo DCC namwambia wewe ni bure, wewe ni muoga. Simu ni 4. Kunayo imekuja kwa hiyo watu 4 hakuna. What is your problem? Please work, commanders. Fanyeni kazi. I'll protect you and nobody will touch you. In this war, me and the president are reading from the same page. Professor Kindiki and IG Kome, we are reading from the same script. The 2 DIGs, we are reading from the same script. DPP, we are reading from the same script. DCI, we are talking the same language. You have no reason not to succeed. For once, the whole might of government is behind you. You have no reason not to succeed. Once these good members fix the law for us, sisi sasa tufanye kazi yetu. Si mtatupatia sheria nzuri. Na nyinyi muachie hapo, msiende kumwaga bombe itamuletea nyinyi shida. Mtengeneze sheria, sheria itafanya kazi. Wenye kutengeneza sheria wako hapa. You know, don't overstep your boundary. Just make good laws and then oversight. Tell us. Komanda fulani, kazi inaenda mzuri. Fulani anachukua hongo. Hiyo ni kazi yenu. Unatuambia tu kisiri. Msiwataje hadharani. Najua wengine wako na buduki. So mtuambie tu pole pole. Hiyo ni kazi yenu, mtengeneze sheria, mfanye oversight. Ya implementation ni hawa wanaume na wamama na sisi. Hiyo ni kazi yetu. Na sisi unajua tuogopi, hakuna pahali tunaweza pelekwa. So I think we'll succeed and I'm very positive. I am very motivated. Since we started working with these officers, I am very happy. I have seen commitment. I have seen zeal. I have seen sacrifice. It has not happened again in the history of this country where officers in uniform have agreed to work. Na wamewacha kuchukua pesa wanafanya kazi. I'm telling you, I've been around for a while. And I've been in this government na nimeona mambo mingi. What I have seen in this region with what the police and the others are doing is amazing. I am so happy. And I'm sure with the necessary support and backup, our officers will succeed. Kwa hayo mengi, asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki. Karibu tukule dinner. Sisi tutaondoka asubuhi, tutalala tuondoke asubuhi. Nyinyi muendelee, we'll monitor how you are going. And I'll be waiting by Monday to see the legislative proposal of what you are proposing so that we can fix this problem once and for all. Asanteni sana. Thank you.